Brianna Alexandra Maitland was a 17-year-old girl who disappeared after leaving her job at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery, Vermont. The next day, Brianna's car was found near an abandoned house about 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, from her workplace. Since then, she has neither been seen nor heard from. Several days passed before Brianna's friends and family reported her missing. In the days and weeks following her disappearance, state law enforcement investigated numerous reports, including a claim that she was being held captive in a house occupied by local drug dealers she was acquainted with. However, none of the reports led to the resolution of the case. Brianna Maitland was born on October 8, 1986, in Burlington, Vermont, to Bruce and Kelly Maitland. She grew up with her older brother on their parents' farm in East Franklin, Vermont, near the Canadian border. In her youth, she actively practiced jiu-jitsu. Brianna attended high school in Swanton before transferring to a high school in neighboring Enosburg Falls. In October 2003, after turning 17, Brianna decided she wanted to move out of her parents' farm. According to her mother, Brianna had no issues with her parents, but she wanted to transfer to another school where her friends were studying. After transferring, Brianna's life lost its previous stability, and she frequently moved between friends' homes. By the end of February 2004, she had dropped out of school and moved in with her childhood friend Jillian Stout in Sheldon, Vermont, about 20 miles west of Montgomery. To complete her education, Brianna enrolled in a GED program, a set of 4 subject tests that certify academic skills at a high school level in the US or Canada, as an alternative to a high school diploma. 3 weeks before her disappearance, Brianna was assaulted at a party by a former friend, Keely Lacrosse. The motive for the attack was unclear, though Brianna's father, Bruce, later speculated it was due to jealousy over Brianna's interactions with a male co-worker at the party. A friend of Brianna's said that despite her jiu-jitsu training, she refused to fight Keely, who proceeded to hit her multiple times. Brianna later pressed charges against Keely, but after her disappearance, the complaint was dropped, and the police stated that Keely Lacrosse was not involved in her disappearance. On the morning of Friday, March 19, 2004, Brianna took her GED exam. After completing the test, she and her mother, Kelly, had lunch to celebrate. Her father, Bruce, was out of state in New York at the time. Brianna's mother described her as being in good spirits. After lunch, Brianna and her mother went shopping and spent time walking around. While waiting in line at a store checkout, something outside caught Brianna's attention. She told her mother she'd be right back and left the store. When Kelly finished the purchase, she found Brianna in the parking lot, noticing that her daughter seemed upset, shaken, and anxious. Brianna told her mother she needed to go home and prepare for her upcoming shift at the Black Lantern Inn. Not wanting to pressure her daughter, Kelly did not ask what had happened and dropped Brianna off at her friend Jillian Stout's house between 3:30 and 4 p.m. That was the last time she saw her daughter. Before leaving for work, Brianna left her friend a note saying she would return that evening after her shift. She then drove to the Black Lantern Inn in her 1985 Oldsmobile sedan, which was registered in her mother's name. After finishing her shift, Brianna left the Black Lantern Inn around 11:20 p.m. She told her co-workers she needed to go home and rest before starting her second job the next day in St. Albans. Witnesses confirmed that Brianna was alone in her car when she left. Early the next morning, March 20th, a Vermont state trooper was dispatched to an abandoned house on Route 118 in Richford, about 1 mile from the Black Lantern Inn. Locals referred to the site as the Old Dutchburn House. Brianna's car had backed into the side of the house, with its rear end lodged against the wall. The Old Dutchburn House, where Brianna's car was found. A piece of plywood was propped against the car's trunk, covering a broken window. Inside the car, 2 paychecks in Brianna's name were found on the front seat. Outside the vehicle, authorities discovered scattered loose change, a water bottle, and an unlit cigarette. The officer assumed the car had been abandoned by a drunk driver, and a tow truck took the vehicle to a nearby garage. Brianna was not reported missing for several days. Her mother only learned about the discovery of her daughter's car 5 days later. Her friend and roommate, Jillian Stout, had seen Brianna's note on Friday, March 19th, but left for the weekend to visit friends. When she returned home on Monday, the note was still in the same place, but Brianna was not at home. It wasn't until Tuesday, March the 23rd, that Brianna's mother began calling her friends, acquaintances, and co-workers to find her. She also contacted her daughter's employers. After her search yielded no results, and still unaware that Brianna's car had been found, she filed a missing person report that same day. On Thursday, March 25th, Brianna's parents brought photos of her to the Vermont State Police in St. Albans. An officer showed them a photograph of the Oldsmobile found near the abandoned house, and they immediately recognized it as their daughter's car. In an interview, Kelly said she was certain that Brianna couldn't have parked the car that way, suggesting someone else had been driving it. After Brianna was reported missing, several people came forward with information. They recalled seeing her car near the abandoned house on the night she disappeared. A man who drove past the house between 11:30 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. on the night of March 19th to 20th said that the car's headlights were on. He reported that he didn't see anyone inside or around the vehicle. The Vermont State Police, who were investigating Brianna's disappearance, were initially skeptical that a crime had occurred, believing she had disappeared voluntarily. The area around the abandoned house was searched by police with dogs, but nothing was found. Brianna's car was examined by state forensic experts only on March 30, 2004, after it had been sitting in a garage for several days. When the car was returned to the Maitland family, Brianna's father noticed that her bank card, glasses, contact lens case, and migraine medication were still inside the car. Later, authorities acknowledged that a crime likely occurred, and in a 2007 FBI flyer, the scene where Brianna's car was found was described as a staged accident. Her parents told reporters that they believe multiple people may have been involved in her disappearance, as it would have been difficult for one attacker to overpower her given her jiu-jitsu training. The disappearance of Maura Murray, a college student from Massachusetts who vanished in northwest New Hampshire a month earlier, was deemed unrelated to Brianna's case by authorities, despite the events taking place within 140 kilometers of each other. In 2004, the Maitland family set up a now-defunct website offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to Brianna's recovery. The site remained active until 2009. A week after Brianna's disappearance, the Vermont State Police received an anonymous tip claiming she was being held against her will in a house in nearby Berkshire, Vermont, about 16 kilometers from Montgomery. The rented house, where 2 New York drug dealers, Ramon L. Ryans and Nathaniel Charles Jackson, were living, was raided by police on April 15, 2004. A significant amount of illegal substances was found inside, but no sign of Brianna. Ramon Ryans was arrested during the raid on drug possession charges. After interviewing Brianna's close friends, police received information that Brianna had recently used various drugs and was acquainted with both Ryans and Jackson. In late 2004, police received testimony from an elderly woman, whose name was not released, accusing Ryans and Jackson of being responsible for Brianna's disappearance and presumed murder. She claimed Brianna was killed about a week after she went missing. The woman, who provided a sworn statement, alleged that Ryans killed Brianna during a dispute over money. Law enforcement was unable to substantiate the claims in this testimony. The Maitland family received several anonymous phone calls. One caller claimed that their daughter had been tied to a tree in a forest, while another said her body could be found at the bottom of a lake, though no specific location was given. None of these leads resulted in Brianna's case being solved. In 2006, a surveillance camera at Caesars World Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, captured footage of a woman resembling Brianna. However, the police were unable to identify the woman. In 2012, law enforcement investigated a potential connection between Brianna's disappearance and serial killer Israel Keyes. The FBI eventually ruled out any link between Keyes and Brianna's case by late December 2012. In March 2016, on the 12th anniversary of Brianna's disappearance, investigators told a local TV station that a re-examination of her car had uncovered DNA samples. The results of those DNA tests were never made public. In July 2016, the abandoned house near which Brianna's car was found was destroyed by fire. In March 2022, the Vermont State Police announced that they had found a match to a DNA sample recovered from Brianna's car. The individual's identity was not disclosed, but a police representative said the DNA belonged to one of 11 people they had previously investigated in connection with the case. There has been no further information on police action regarding this finding. Brianna Maitland's case remains unsolved. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.